Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about the new Silent Hill transmission because Konami just did a Silent Hill broadcast. They basically talked about the future of Silent Hill, but this one was focused purely on Silent Hill F, which up until now has been a very mysterious project. They initially revealed it back in October of 2022, but now it's been silent for years. We've had zero updates, information. Well, they just did an absolute deep dive, almost 40 minutes of interviews and dev talks and a new trailer and key art. And I want to break it down so you don't have to watch a 40-minute thing. But I want to just say right up front that a lot of people said that the game looks boring or that it looks too weird or the fact that it doesn't take place in Silent Hill is kind of turning people off. But I feel like I'm very open-minded to a radically different Silent Hill. You can see I got my Silent Hill shirt on, my official Silent Hill hat, to give it up to Toluca Lake. So I feel like I'm curious to see what it's about, but I definitely want to see more because it doesn't really make sense yet, if I'm being brutally honest. But let's get into it. Hi, hope you're having a great day. And if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So I do want to start with the fact that this did not get a release date. They released a pretty good trailer for it, which we're going to take a look at here in a second. But I got to admit that the fact that this isn't getting a release date, it makes me think that we're still going to be waiting a couple more years to actually play this. Now, I wanted to see something extra. We know the fact that there is a Silent Hill movie that's actually made called Return to Silent Hill. They didn't show that today. They didn't show any DLC for Silent Hill 2 Remake. This was purely about this and only this. A new Silent Hill that takes place in 1960s Japan. It is imagined by the very famous Japanese author Ryuichi 07. Music by Akira Yamaoka, which I'm terrible at Japanese names. I apologize. This guy's book, though, is incredibly famous for the mystery, the vibe. He's a very, very good author, and he said straight up that he was inspired by the original Silent Hill. So the fact that now he is the official scriptwriter for Silent Hill F seems pretty interesting and poetic. Now, something they said that I found to be very fascinating is that there's two separate composers for this game, the Otherworld and the Fog World, as they're calling it. So when you're in the normal town, apparently it's going to be constantly shrouded in this thick, dense fog. You know, very typical for Silent Hill. But they're calling it the Fog World, not just by happenstance. They're basically saying that they wanted to have a different tone. So they're spooky, they're scary, but they said the entire theme of this is so beautiful, it's terrifying. So monsters trying to track people down and rip them apart. Flowers so gorgeous before they rip your eyes out. I like the vibe of it, but if I'm being honest, as good as this trailer was, and don't get me wrong, it is good, I almost wish that it was longer or told us more about why Japan, why this setting, why, like, I want to know why this is Silent Hill. Does that make sense? In that there have been other games that are spooky or do homages. There's Siren and Fatal Frame. There's a lot of games that are spooky and in Japan, right? I want to know what makes Silent Hill F specifically a Silent Hill game, especially the fact that it's a prequel, such a far back prequel. Now, right before this broadcast they did today, they mailed out these mysterious shirts to some people in Japan, which, as you'll notice, Silent Hill F, this is not just a standard, lowercase f. It's a forte. It's a musical sign. It also kind of looks like a dagger. So I kind of wish that during this 40-minute broadcast, they'd done a bit of a better job kind of explaining, is the music that crucial? Is music playing a part? I kind of wish they had shown us some combat, some actual raw gameplay to say, here's how the game is going to play. Because, yeah, it's Japan in the 1960s. We're not going to be busting out shotguns or hand grenades. It's pretty much going to be using pipes and solving puzzles. But they also released this plot synopsis. In 1960s Japan, Shimizu Hinako, this is the main character here, secluded town of Ebisugaoka is consumed by sudden fog, transforming her home into a haunting nightmare. As the town falls silent and the fog thickens, Hinako must navigate the twisted paths of Ebisugaoka, solving complex puzzles and confronting grotesque monsters to survive. Immerse yourself in Hanako's world imagined by renowned author Ryukishi 07 with entrancing music, including pieces by Akira Yamaoka, and beautiful visuals, gripping tale of doubt, regret, inescapable choices. Will Hinako embrace the beauty hidden within the terror or succumb to the madness that lies ahead? Discover the new chapter in the Silent Hill series, blending the psychological horror and haunting Japanese setting. Now, they released concept art and stuff as well when they did this. And something they said specifically that I thought was kind of gripping, I almost wish they had gone deeper on it, is they said that they felt like Silent Hill had become too Americanized. And I actually think that's a pretty interesting point, because now this is like the 9th Silent Hill, counting the prequels and the spin-offs, Silent Hill Origins and Book of Secrets and Shattered Memories and everything. This is pretty deep into the Silent Hill franchise at this point. So they said that they wanted to bring it back to its roots, because if you ever read anything about the original Team Silent and the development of Silent Hill, the whole idea was a Japanese mimicry of American 80s horror with big monsters and crazy mysteries and really, really jaw-dropping frights at times, right? And I always felt like that blending of vibes was incredibly effective, but that felt like after now decades of slightly imitating American-style horror, that they wanted to take it back to actually do a purely Japanese Silent Hill. Now, I live streamed this, and my chat really did not like the fact that the game is purely set in Japan. It's not in Silent Hill at all. It's just called Silent Hill. And a lot of my chat did not like the game that it does seem like it is purely in Japanese. It doesn't seem like it's going to be dubbed. I'm almost kind of curious about the mainstream appeal of it. I know it kind of sucks now that we have to worry about sales metrics for games that aren't out, but I love Silent Hill a lot. Silent Hill is obviously a very, very big deal to me. I'm kind of curious about how good the mainstream appeal is going to be, how accessible this will be to newcomers, not just Silent Hill fans, but I don't know. I think about stuff like, I love The Evil Within 1 and 2. I think they're some of the best horror games I've ever played in the last 10 years. But when you see their third game, Ghostwire Tokyo, I feel like some people who don't understand the mythology and the setting and the timing and stuff, it just felt like Ghostwire Tokyo flopped, whereas Evil Within 3 would have sold really well. I'm kind of curious to see if they can sell this, if they can say, yes, this isn't the Silent Hill you remember. Maybe it's not the vibe you remember, but I promise it'll still terrify you and it'll still be great. I am open-minded to it. I definitely want to see more. I almost just wish that they had shown, I just feel like 5 minutes of raw gameplay, walking around, doing a puzzle, fighting one monster would have done infinitely more than a 90-second teaser and a 45-minute talk about why the vibes are right. But that's just my off-the-cuff thoughts after immediately watching that trailer. What do you guys think about Silent Hill F? Are you excited for it, or does this seem like not your cup of tea? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And be sure to keep dreaming. While I was live streaming, somebody sent me a super chat that was so nice. I feel like it's going to stick with me. Somebody said that ever since I got my new teeth, I felt so much happier in videos. And I don't know. I really appreciate that. I feel like getting the surgery done, y'all have been so much more positive. I've been so much more positive. I don't know. It makes me happy beyond words, obviously. I guess not being in constant pain and being able to eat, it makes your life better. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.